Super Salami Kid and the Cheese Monster by Audrey and Julia Miller. Once upon a time, there was a little boy whose name was Sam, and when he was only 2 years old, he got sick because he ate too much salami. And the only way to get rid of the sickness was to take a medicine that would turn you into a piece of salami in the shape of a kid. Sam usually stayed home because he was made of salami, but Sam had to go to school when he was 5. On Sam's first day of school, he thought everyone would laugh at him, but they actually thought he was cool. Sam had a great time at school. First, he met his teacher, Mrs. Snitch. Then he read an interesting book about pizza. Next, he ate lunch. After that, he did some math and went home. On his second week of school, he started to like Evan and Patricia. Evan liked to invent things like poisonous candy. Patricia liked to invent things like candy that makes you throw up. One day, in his third week of school, he was walking to school with Evan and Patricia. He was so excited that he was jumping up and down on one really big jump. His feet left the ground and didn't come back to the ground. "I can fly," he shouted. He had discovered one of his salami powers. "Do you actually have salami powers?" asked Patricia. "I guess so," said Sam. "Wow," said Evan. After school ended, he went home to tell his parents that he has salami powers. On his 5th week of school, when he was walking home from school, he was thinking about his salami powers and how glad he was to have them. He was so happy that he put his hands in the air and shouted, "Salami power!" at the same time, and then something amazing happened. Salami came flying out of his hands. He had discovered another one of his salami powers. "I discovered another one of my salami powers," said Sam the next day at school. "Wow," said Evan and Patricia together. "That's so cool." Now that all the kids in class know that he has salami powers, they started to call him Super Salami Kid. Sam liked the new name. He thought his new name was cool because it was true. One morning in his 7th week of school, Sam was reading the news, and there was an interesting article about a villain who, like him, ate too much of one food, in the villain's case, cheese, and got sick. The villain got locked up in jail, but a week ago, he escaped. He thought that he could beat the cheese monster. After school, he went home and pretended to be fighting the cheese monster for fun. "Salami shield!" he shouted. Then something amazing happened. A shield made of salami appeared in his hand. He had discovered his salami power. In Sam's 8th week of school, Evan invented living spray and Patricia invented dying spray. If you spray something with living spray, it comes to life. And if you spray something with dying spray, it dies immediately. One day, Sam went to a fancy restaurant with Evan and Patricia. They ordered cheese pizza with salami on it. They all thought it was delicious. It had just the right amount of salami and just the right amount of cheese. When they were almost finished with their pizza, they heard someone coming in. They turned around and everybody screamed. It was the cheese monster. Everyone ran out of the restaurant except him. The cheese monster was blocking the door. Then they started a fight. First, he flew up in the air so he was face to face with the cheese monster. Then the cheese monster put his hands in the air and shouted, "Super cheese!" and melted cheese sprayed out of his hands. Just in time, he blocked the cheese with his salami shield, and then he hit the cheese monster with a huge amount of salami. Then he noticed something on the floor. Patricia had forgotten her dyeing spray. So he picked it up, sprayed the cheese monster. He died immediately and fell to the floor. The next day at school, Sam told everybody about the cheese monster and how he escaped it. Everyone was amazed by the fact that he actually killed the cheese monster. "I couldn't have done it without my salami powers," he said. He really was Super Salami Kid. The end.